I, 27-year-old female, and my husband, 27-year-old male, have a baby boy who is 6 months old. His 2 brothers have children too, 1-year-old. His aunt has a disabled son, 25-year-old male, who I will call Jimmy. Jimmy is physically and mentally disabled. He is like a 5-year-old boy, can't properly walk, hold things, etc. I really love Jimmy, and I am trying to do everything to make him happy. But since I had my baby, I can't focus on what he wants if it affects what my baby needs. For example, he wants to play with his ball and some card games. He doesn't understand the rules. Everyone just throws a card until it's done. All the time. The problem is, if I feed my baby or he is sleeping in my arms or anything else, I can't play with him because I have my hands full. I think he does understand it a bit, but he doesn't stop saying I should play with him until my husband tells him to leave me alone. But then Jimmy's mum will freak out and yell at us and tell us we should do what Jimmy wants. But I simply can't. He always rotates on what he wants to play with. But we all have kids, so I'm not the only one who this happens with. Jimmy's mum says that we are all mean and shouldn't come over to her house if we only want to bring negative energy and make her baby sad. None of us are trying to make Jimmy sad, and I really think I've known him for 8 years that he understands if you tell him loud and clear. But his mum just wants him to have everything and therefore tells us to do what he wants. And then Jimmy is confused. Plus he knows if his mum is there, he gets everything he wants. If we are alone with him, this doesn't happen because if we tell him 3 times we can't play, he says okay and goes on. The last straw was when we were on vacation at Jimmy's family's beach house, which has a pool. We were all there, but Jimmy got sick because he has a weaker immune system than we do. We and the 4 kids wanted to go into the pool because it was like 100 degrees outside. But Jimmy's mum said we can't because Jimmy can't, and that's unfair, Edit. She wanted us to sit inside and play games with Jimmy. But how do you tell 4 kids that they can't go swimming because Jimmy's sick? Fair enough, I understand that. But it was so hot and the kids wanted to go swimming. So we told her we will go to the beach, and then she said we have to take Jimmy with us because he wants to come too, which doesn't make sense because 1, he can't go into the water. What are we supposed to do with him? And 2, we have 4 kids and no time to take care of him, especially if we go swimming with kids, which is dangerous. Everyone looked around and no one wanted to say anything. So my husband and I told her the reasons why we can't take him with us. Jimmy's mum freaked out and said that we are bullying her son and treating him badly and not equally because he is disabled. And I told her that we can't treat him equally because he is disabled, and it doesn't make any sense. Then I told her we could say we're going somewhere not fun, so he wants to stay at home and watch TV. She told me I am being a bad human being for lying to him so that he doesn't want to come, and that we are excluding him, and she threw us out of the house, so am I the idiot? Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1, not the idiot. If she wants Jimmy to be treated as an equal, she needs to let him live his life but also support him. She should be there to manage him, seeing as he's her kid. Comment 2, not the idiot. As complicated as the life of your husband's aunt might be, it doesn't mean you can't put in place reasonable boundaries and live your life. Comment 3. I would avoid your aunt's house at least for vacations. Not the idiot now, for the updatey. After the beach incident, things took a turn for the unexpected. Initially, my husband and I felt like outcasts in the family, but we decided to sit down with Jimmy's mum for a serious heart-to-heart. We had no idea how transformative that conversation would be. It turns out Jimmy's mum has been struggling with her own health issues. She kept it hidden, trying to be strong for Jimmy, but the stress of her illness and his care had been overwhelming her. Our confrontation was a wake-up call. She broke down and admitted she needed help, not just with Jimmy, but also for herself. It was both a heartbreaking and eye-opening moment for all of us. In an incredible display of family unity, the aunts, uncles and cousins rallied together to create a care schedule for Jimmy, giving his mum the time she needed to focus on her health. My husband and I are contributing to this schedule, but it's done in a way that's manageable for us without neglecting our own baby. The most dramatic moment, though, was when Jimmy's mum apologized to us. She realized that she had been unfair in her expectations and that she had let her fear and stress dictate her behavior. She's now attending counseling and learning how to navigate her new reality. But the real shock came when Jimmy's long-absent father reached out. He had heard about the situation from another family member and wants to be involved in Jimmy's life again. They had a few meetings, and while it's too early to tell where this will lead, the possibility of having his father contribute to his care is something that we never saw coming. We're all cautiously optimistic about this new development, and Jimmy seems to be responding well to the increased attention and diverse interactions with different family members. It's as if our family has been given a second chance to do right by Jimmy and each other. As for our vacation, we've postponed it, not just because of the family drama, but because we want to be fully present for these changes. We're also looking into professional care options for Jimmy to provide his mother with more structured support, and we've started a family fund to ensure we have the resources for whatever Jimmy may need in the future. It's strange to think how such a heated argument led to such a positive outcome. It's been a reminder that sometimes it takes a breaking point to start mending fences. We're not sure what the next 2 weeks will hold, but we're facing them together as a family, and that's something none of us could have predicted. Now for the comments. Comment 1, not the idiot. You've shown incredible empathy and family solidarity by putting aside your own plans to focus on Jimmy's well-being. It's heartwarming to see a family come together after a misunderstanding and work towards a common goal. The fact that you're exploring professional care and starting a fund for Jimmy's future needs shows a level of foresight and commitment that is truly commendable. Comment 2. You're the idiot for initially feeling like outcasts instead of immediately trying to understand the root of the problem. It's great that you're helping now, but it sounds like the tension could have been avoided with earlier communication. Families should always strive to be open and supportive, not jump to conclusions and feel like outcasts over misunderstandings. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Postponing a vacation is a small sacrifice to make for the well-being of a family member. It's impressive how you've all rallied to support Jimmy's mom, and it's a good sign that his father wants to reconnect. Counselling, care schedules, and a family fund are proactive steps that show maturity and responsibility. It's a tough situation, but your family is tackling it with grace and unity. Now, for the next story. I, 20 years old female, and my sister, 22 years old female, have never really gotten along. Recently, she announced that she is 7 to 8 months pregnant. Along with the announcement came some very odd rules. For instance, I can't have junk food in my house if she's over. My cat also needs to be locked away when she visits. In addition, I can't have pop cans in the fridge. There are a few other rules as well as her expectations of me and our other sister. For example, if she calls us, we have to drop whatever we are doing to attend to her hand and foot unless we are at work. If she asks us to do something, we have to comply. Furthermore, when the baby is born, we have to have a car seat and a crib in each of our car's houses so she can drop the baby off whenever she wants. I told her that there is no way she can just drop off her baby at my house whenever she feels like it. I have no issues with having a car seat in my car or having a bassinet in my house for when I'm babysitting my niece or nephew. However, I will not be told to do these things simply because she wants to be able to drop off the baby whenever she wants. So I told her that I will not cater to her every demand and wait on her hand and foot. She became upset and told me that she will never let me see my niece or nephew because I won't let her uproot my life due to her own decision to be with a man who is 15 years older than her. She claims she doesn't want to put her life on hold for this baby. I don't feel like I am the jerk in this situation. I simply feel like she doesn't see things from my perspective. I am heading to college soon and I won't have room for the baby in my dorm. I don't believe I should have to cater to her just because she is pregnant. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot. This is not your child and this is not your life. Your sister has gone a little crazy. I'm hoping because of hormones. Comment 2. Well, that's a whole new degree of entitlement. Not the idiot, not your baby, not your problem. Enjoy college. Comment 3. Not the idiot. That's really funny that she expects all that. Tell her that's her boyfriend's job. Now for the update. I never imagined I'd be writing this update. It's been 6 months since I vented about my sister's outlandish pregnancy demands. We were at a deadlock then, but I'm happy to share that things have taken a turn for the better. It all started when my sister went into labour, earlier than expected. I was still frustrated with her, but I couldn't ignore her call for help. I rushed to the hospital and, to my surprise, found that I was the first family member to arrive. Those first few hours it was just the two of us, and something shifted between us. During the long hours of waiting and her painful contractions, we had a heart-to-heart. I learned how scared she was, not just of childbirth but of the daunting task of being a mother. It turns out that her demands stemmed from her anxiety and a misguided attempt to control everything. I held her hand, and in that vulnerable state we forgave each other. Fast forward to now, my beautiful nephew is the light of our family. My sister has relaxed a lot since his birth. She apologized for her earlier behavior, admitting that it was over the top and saying that becoming a mum put a lot of things into perspective. As for the cat and pop cans, we found a mutual understanding. My flat remains my own, and while I make sure it's baby safe when they visit, there's no crib or car seat in sight. Instead, we've organised a system where she drops him off at our parents' place, which is better equipped for babysitting duties. I'm still heading to college, but my sister has shown nothing but support. She understands that I have my own life to lead and even encourages me to focus on my studies. I visit whenever I can and cherish every moment with my nephew. Our relationship has grown stronger and we've found a balance. I'm not just an aunt. I'm a sister who's there for her sibling in ways that matter, not because of demands or conditions, but out of love. Now, for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Your sister's hormones were probably making her act out, but that doesn't excuse her behavior. It's great you were there for her in the end, and it's even better that she recognized her mistakes. Balancing your life and helping family isn't easy, and it sounds like you've struck a great compromise without compromising your own goals. Kudos for handling it with such maturity. Comment 2. You're the idiot. Just because your sister apologized doesn't erase the stress she caused you with her unreasonable demands. Pregnancy is tough, but it doesn't give her the right to take advantage of your goodwill. It's great that things are better now, but don't brush off your feelings just because she's family. You deserve an environment that respects your boundaries and college pursuits. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Standing by your sister in a tough time shows real character. It's not easy to support someone who's been difficult, but you did it anyway. Plus, you've managed to keep your own space and continue your studies. That's no small feat. It's important to have your own life, and it seems like you've found the perfect balance. Your nephew is lucky to have such a caring aunt-uncle. Now for the next story. My brother got married to Mia in Vegas. Their marriage was not planned, and it was a drunk mistake, according to my brother. It only lasted a year, and they eventually divorced. Fortunately, the divorce was easy since both of them agreed to go their separate ways. However, there was a complication during the divorce because Mia was pregnant at that time. This all happened years ago, and now my nephew is 11 years old. He primarily lives with his dad since Mia is facing financial struggles. Mia works as a waitress and lives in an apartment located in a bad area. Because of this, my nephew stays with his dad, who owns a home in a good area and where they have access to a good school. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of Mia because all she does is complain about being poor. Despite this, we all try to accommodate her by giving her extra support so she can participate in family outings. It is frustrating, though, because she does nothing to improve her situation. She could have pursued a trade or community college education or looked for better job opportunities, but she has been working as a waitress at the same restaurant for 10 years. Overall, I am tired of hearing her complaints. Just yesterday, she was going on and on about how broke she is and how lucky I am to have a good job. It seemed like she was implying that I didn't have to work for my job and that it was handed to me by the gods. I had enough and told her that the only reason I have money and she doesn't is because I put in the work that she couldn't be bothered to do. She got mad, called me a jerk, and left. My brother is a little annoyed with me as well. Edit. Since Redditors seem to be making some assumptions, let me clarify a few things. First, my family was dirt poor, and I had to put myself through school. Second, my brother has always been very involved in his son's life, as he has had custody of him for most of the time. Lastly, we both attended the same high school. Yes, I know it has been difficult, but it has been 10 years now. Now for a few comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot, I'm sorry, but I'd have more than a few choice words for my brother, who brought such a woman into my permanent orbit, daring to get pissed at me for not putting up with her nonsense. Comment 2. Did you have a lot of family support to complete your degree? That doesn't make it not hard work, but it definitely makes it a lot more possible for someone to go to school. Now, for the next story. Throwaway account since everyone involved may find this. I, 28-year-old female, always knew that when I can live alone I wanted to have a dog. When I moved, I had that opportunity in the form of a relative's pet that needed to be rehomed. She was already very old, 13, deaf, and generally needed a lot of attention. It's been a year and I love this dog. In summary, she truly changed my life. I am absolutely an annoying dog mum. She is also very allergic to something that her vet and I are trying to figure out. It manifests in dry, flaky skin that she will itch hard enough to bleed. We're trying a food allergy trial. This means she is on a very specific diet of a prescription dry food until a trial period of 8 to 9 weeks is over. If she does get something off menu, we have to start the trial period over. Most of my friends know this because I always complain about how expensive the food is. Cut to the party. I invited a few close friends over to my place for a holiday gathering. Living far away, work, etc. usually keeps us apart, so I was super excited. I ordered us McDonald's. We all agreed beforehand to split a big order because why not, and made a ton of jokes to my dog about how none of it is for you, young lady, in front of everyone. I'll admit this was a thinly veiled reminder for everyone else too. The food comes and we're all having a good time. I step away to find my friend, 25-year-old female, dropping a piece of fish fillet for my dog to gobble up in the kitchen. I freak out and ask her what she was doing. Again, my dog is deaf, so she just keeps pawing my friend for another piece, which she gave her, saying, "But she's so cute. A little piece of fish can't hurt." I'll admit it, I kind of lost it. We were 6 weeks into the trial, and now I would have to start all over buying even more expensive food. I'm sure I yelled and cussed at her. I don't really remember. I saw red. I do remember telling everyone that I'm sorry, but I'm too angry to enjoy or host a party right now, and asked everyone to leave. I told them to also feel free to take the remaining food, and don't worry about paying for their shares, since I'm the reason the party is ending early. The next day, I apologized to my friend for yelling. She seems very hurt and isn't very open to continuing the conversation. She says she honestly forgot and didn't see the harm. To be fair, fish was on the list of things I don't suspect she is allergic to, and may have mentioned that to the group. Also, my dog is also on other medications that stop any harmful reactions to off-list foods. At most, she'll get flaky skin but not super itchy or an upset stomach or anything. My friends overall seem pretty split. Half the group thinks I'm justified and aren't upset with me ending the party, knowing how much I care about my dog. The other half thinks I'm overreacting over a piece of fish. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot. I have dogs. My puppy sits for an extended family 1 to 2 times a year. It's maximum 6 dogs and 3 cats. I would never feed them or anyone else's pet food without the owner's permission, just like if they had a kid. Comment 2. But it's not just fish. It's breaded, fried, covered in cheese and slathered with tartar sauce. I assume she omitted the bun, not the idiot. She should have to pay for the pricey food. Comment 3. So many dogs have allergies. What kind of idiot feeds someone's dog human food without asking first? Not the idiot, but your friend is. Now for the update. After the whole McDonald's fiasco, I thought things would calm down, but it was just the eye of the storm. First off, the dog's allergies flared up like nobody's business. We're talking full-blown vet visits, new medications, the works. I was a mess. The dog was a mess. It was intense. I spent most nights researching canine allergies until my eyes blurred. But the real kicker. The friend who fed the dog, let's call her Jenny, well, she's actually been dealing with some personal stuff that I had no idea about. 2 days after the McDonald's incident, she showed up at my door in tears, not because of our falling out, but because she'd just broken up with her partner. She was devastated, and I felt like the world's worst friend for adding to her stress. We talked it out, and I realized that her feeding the dog was more of a thoughtless mistake than a deliberate act of defiance. We reconciled, and she's even helped me dog-proof my house. As if that wasn't enough drama, one of the friends who defended me, Mark, turned out to be a bit too interested in my dog-related woes. He started showing up unannounced to check on the dog, bringing all sorts of unsolicited and not always allergy-friendly gifts. I began to suspect he wasn't just concerned about my furry friend. When I confronted him, he admitted to having feelings for me. Talk about awkward timing. I let him down gently, but it's definitely changed the group dynamic. Anyway, the dog is finally stabilizing with a new vet-recommended regimen, and my home has become a fortress against allergens. Oh, and the vet tech. We're going out for coffee next week. Turns out we have a lot in common, and she's been a huge help with the dog. So yeah, it's been a roller coaster, but I'm learning that sometimes chaos brings people together in the most unexpected ways. Now for the comments. Comment 1. You're not the idiot. You've been dealing with a lot, and it's not like you can control your dog's allergies or your friend's love life. It's great that Jenny stepped up to help with the dog proofing, and it's not your fault Mark caught feelings. Plus, you're taking good care of your dog and even finding a silver lining by meeting someone new. Life throws curveballs and you're handling them like a champ. Comment 2. You're the idiot, but only slightly. It's awesome that you're taking care of your dog's health, but it seems like you might be neglecting your friend's feelings a bit. Mark revealing his feelings is a big deal, and it deserves a proper response, not just being brushed off as an awkward situation. It's important to balance personal issues with being there for friends who have had your back. Comment 3. Not the idiot here, and it sounds like you've got a good support system despite the craziness. Vet visits are no joke, and allergies can be a nightmare to figure out. It's great that you're finding the time to socialize and possibly even start a new romance amidst the chaos. And as for Mark, feelings aren't something you can control, and you're not obligated to reciprocate just because he's been a good friend. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.